Has there ever been a more difficult international Mobile Legends tournament to win than MSC 2026? Seriously, think about it. Every year fans say the competition is getting stronger, but MSC 2026 feels different. For the first time, we're seeing a fully developed global ecosystem feeding into one international level. More regions, more qualified teams, more professional infrastructure, more players with international experience. And unlike previous tournaments where a handful of favorites dominated the conversation, MSC 2026 arrives with a field that looks deeper than ever before. If a team wants to lift a trophy in Paris, they may have to survive the toughest road any MSC champion has ever faced. With 25 teams involved in the competition structure and new regions entering the global stage, there are simply fewer easy matches and more opportunities for upsets than ever before. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. MSC 2026 represents a major milestone for Mobile Legends esports. This is the first MSC taking place after a global competitive ecosystem has become significantly more structured through the MCT framework and expanded regional pathways. Instead of relying primarily on a few established regions, the tournament now draws talent from a much broader international network. New regions such as India, Thailand, and Western Europe have entered the qualification ecosystem, while East Asia and the Americas have undergone further integration and expansion. The result is a tournament where more teams arrive battle-tested through stronger domestic leagues and more organized competitive systems. That means every region is improving simultaneously, creating a level of depth and unpredictability that previous MSC events rarely had. The gap between traditional powerhouses and emerging challengers is becoming smaller. And that's exactly why MSC 2026 could become the hardest international tournament in MLBB history. One of the biggest reasons MSC 2026 could become the hardest international tournament ever is that the average team entering the event is significantly stronger than the average team that attended international tournaments just a few years ago. In the early days of MLBB esports, international events often feature a clear divide between contenders and participants. A handful of teams arrived expecting to win championships, while many others viewed the tournament primarily as a learning opportunity. Simply qualifying for the event was already considered a success for several regions. The reality has changed dramatically. Today, teams are no longer satisfied with merely representing their region. Thanks to continued growth of professional leagues around the world, organizations now invest heavily in preparation, infrastructure, and long-term player development. The result is a global competitive scene where far more teams arrive believing they can challenge established powers and make deep tournament runs. A major factor behind the shift is the evolution of coaching staffs. Years ago, many teams relied on a single head coach and a small support staff. Meanwhile, modern MLBB organizations often employ multiple specialists focused on different aspects of competition. Coaches now divide responsibilities between drafting preparation, opponent scouting, player development, strategic planning, and match review. This allows teams to prepare at a level that would often been difficult to imagine during earlier international tournaments. Before a major match, coaching staffs can spend countless of hours studying tendencies, preferred hero combinations, objective setups, lane assignments, and drafting patterns. Teams are entering MSC 2026 with far more information about their opponents than teams had access to in previous years. This increased preparation means that victories are becoming harder to earn. Simply having superior mechanics is no longer enough. Teams must consistently outthink opponents who have spent weeks preparing specific game plans designed to expose weaknesses and disrupt preferred strategies. Another reason MSC 2026 looks incredibly difficult is the growth of hero pool diversity across every region. In previous international tournaments, many teams could be identified by a small number of signature strategies. Opponents often knew exactly what they wanted to play and could prepare accordingly. Today, the best teams are capable of playing multiple styles at an elite level. Some lineups can dominate through aggressive early game skirmishing. Others excel in macro-focused objective control. Some prefer scaling compositions built around late-game team fighting, while others pressure opponents with high-tempo rotations and constant map aggression. What's even more impressive is that many teams can switch between these styles within the same series. This flexibility creates enormous challenges during drafting. At MSC 2026, coaches cannot simply target a few comfort picks and expect the opponent's strategy to collapse. Most elite teams possess deep hero pools across every role, allowing them to adapt quickly to changing drafts and tournament metas. To give you an example, the gold lane players are more versatile than ever. Junglers can perform on assassins, utility picks, and tank junglers. Roamers have become increasingly comfortable initiating fights, controlling vision, and enabling multiple strategic approaches. As a result, draft phases are becoming increasingly complex. A team may spend weeks preparing for one strategy, only to discover that their opponent has developed entirely new variations by the time the tournament begins. This constant evolution makes international competition far less predictable than in previous years. Another important factor is the growing role of analytics. Modern MLBB esports has become far more data-driven than many fans realize. Teams track hero priorities, drafting trends, objective control rates, lane performance, teamfight efficiency, and numerous other metrics. Analysts help coaching staffs identify strengths, weaknesses, and patterns that might not be immediately visible during standard match reviews. This gives organizations a significant advantage when preparing for international competition. Instead of relying purely on intuition, teams can make informed decisions based on extensive research and statistical evidence. They can identify tendencies in opponent drafting, recognize vulnerable map setups, and develop targeted strategies to exploit specific weaknesses. When multiple organizations are operating at this level simultaneously, the overall quality of competition naturally rises. The difference between winning and losing often comes down to tiny details. A single draft adjustment, one unexpected rotation, a perfectly timed objective contest, a strategic adaptation between games. These margins continue to shrink as teams become increasingly sophisticated. The international experience gap has also narrowed considerably. In the past, traditional powerhouse regions often held a significant advantage because they consistently participated in global tournaments. Many emerging regions lacked opportunities to test themselves against world-class competition. Today, that gap is much smaller. More regions have accumulated valuable international experience through MSC, M-Series events, and other major competitions. Players who once entered tournaments as underdogs now possess first-hand knowledge of high-pressure international environments. They understand stage pressure, they understand adaptation, they understand preparation, and most importantly, they understand that winning is possible. That belief matters. Confidence changes how many teams approach competition. Instead of playing cautiously against favorites, many teams now enter international events expecting to challenge them directly. They are willing to take calculated risk, trust their systems, and play their own style rather than simply reacting to opponents. This creates a tournament environment where upsets become more realistic and every match becomes dangerous. Perhaps the cleanest sign of how difficult MSC 2026 could be is that numerous teams across multiple regions now have legitimate championship aspirations. The Philippines remains a powerhouse. Indonesia continues producing elite talent. Malaysia, Myanmar, Cambodia, the Middle East, Latin America, China, and several emerging regions continue strengthening their competitive ecosystem. That means the number of realistic contenders is growing. And when more teams believe they can win and possess the preparation, infrastructure, talent, and experience to support that belief, the path to becoming champion becomes significantly harder. That's what makes MSC 2026 feel different. The tournament isn't just bigger, the teams aren't just more experienced, the competition itself has evolved. And that evolution may create the most difficult international championship run Mobile Legends has ever seen. MSC 2026 represents how far Mobile Legends esports has come as a global competition. What was once a tournament largely dominated by a small number of regions has evolved into a true international battleground filled with legitimate contenders from across the world. With stronger domestic leagues, improved coaching structures, deeper strategic preparation, and growing international experience, it has all raised the overall level of competition dramatically. For the eventual champion, lifting the trophy may require navigating the deepest, most talented, and most competitive field that MLBB esports has ever assembled. If that's the case, the winner of MSC 2026 won't just be a champion. They may have completed one of the toughest championship runs in Mobile Legends history. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think MSC 2026 is the toughest international Mobile Legends tournament we've ever seen so far? Which team faces the hardest path to the championship? And who do you consider the favorite heading into the tournament? Let us know in the comments below and tell us whether this year's competition feels more open and unpredictable than previous MSC and M Series tournaments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Mobile Legends news content. Till next time.